In today's video, we are going to be surviving 100 days in Cobblemon on the Cobbeland server on the Union realm, which allows fusions, fake mon, and many other things. But let's jump straight into it, and PS, thank you for Cobblelands for allowing me to do this. Okay, so let's get started by selecting our Pokemon, our starter Pokemon to be exact. Now, I am an OG like I always say, so it is going to be Gen 1 for me, but for this series, I'm going to be starting with Squirtle. For one reason only. I want a Blastoise. I've actually never caught a Squirtle, seen a Squirtle, but I've seen a Charmander in Cobblemon before, so it might be time to change it up. All right, let's explore the server spawn. Okay, that's interesting. So we got crates. So that's pretty basic, pretty simple. We got plushies, Funkos. I believe this is leaderboards, but there's something new about this server, and that is that Cobbleland have introduced Cobble fusions. And what you need to get, you need to get 5 iron ingots, 3 netherite ingots, 2 gold ingots, and 1 nether star in order to be able to craft any of these Pokemon. As you can see, that's a pink Mew, sort of fused with maybe like a Butterfree or something. But what? A nether star? Wow, we've got some work to do. Day 1, well, it went the way I wanted it to. Got myself some wood. Went to a cave, got myself a fair bit of copper. Copper is a main resource in the early stages of Cobblemon, so make sure you collect that. Then we got a blue apricorn. I didn't get any seeds from this tree, which is kind of sad. And then I moved on and found out that zombies, creepers, skeletons all spawn. I then found this little sphere type Pokemon, or seal, however you want to actually say it. And then I was attacked by zombies. I couldn't believe it. They came for me, and well, I wasn't too happy of it, but I put up a decent fight, I think. I then moved on from here and I was like, well, I just got almost one shot, time to run. So I hightailed it out of that spruce forest as fast as I could. Okay, it might be nighttime, but that is looking interesting to me. I'm going to head over there, see if I can get a revival herb, because that is very, very important for getting a healer later on. And what is that? That is a whale, mini whale that's out of water. That's not a good sign. Oh wait, there's everywhere. Okay, we're going to try and find ourselves a revival herb. I then went down into the lush caves, as I said, to try and get a medical herb. Now, I don't think I found any, so I left. And then I found myself a Rockruff, and I was like, well, you're going to be coming with me, you little dog-looking Pokemon, because, well, I needed a friend at this point. And we were successful in our first capture on the server. I then moved on and found a lovely little cemetery, which had already been looted, so I was pretty sad about that, because we didn't get any loot. I then found myself a stone journer, or whatever you want to call this big dude, and he killed my Squirtle. So Squirtle fainted, and I looked in the mirror and went, oh, we need to get out of here. I then found an Electrike, which I didn't know it didn't have a sort of model at all, it's just a green thing. I then was running around this little forest area, which I was going to claim as my own, and I found a Pidgeotto. I was like, Pidgey, you're coming with me, boy. I need you. You're a flying type in my team. So in one of the kits you get rare candies, and I think it's actually a server login as well, so we are just gonna do that to Squirtle and make him 1 level away from Wartortle. And yeah, I've found a little area where I'm gonna set up. This is gonna be the base, and I don't know what day it is because I've been running and dying a fair bit. So whatever day it is, let's get moving on, because I think I'm behind a little bit on time. Okay, so now at spawn, I do have 2 keys. One is the trainer key and one is the starting key. I'm going to open that one up last because it is on the inner circle here. But a trainer crate is right here, so let's see what we can get. We got 4 rare candies, so that means we have 9 on me now, as I did do my kit. And then we go over to here. I don't know what this gives us. A floatee? A floatette? What are you? Fairy, bones only, nature's serious, moves, fight. Oh, it's a ground type. This actually, sorry, a grass type. Is it? Oh, it's a fairy type, my bad, but no grass moves. I'll take this because we might be onto something here. I don't know who this is, but I like your skin. Since I did just get, oh my god, it's so tiny. Okay, I didn't realize how tiny you were. You are so adorable. You're gonna get 9 rare candies though. Let's get you up to level 9 or level 10, sorry, shall we? So you got Lucky Chant, Safeguard added to your abilities or added to your moveset, which is good. I've also just claimed this area as well because we need to be able to build and not lose our stuff. Now, eventually I will get more blocks to claim and I'll make it bigger and bigger and bigger. But until then, I'm going to absolutely deforest most of this area, and we're going to collect a lot of building blocks basically. With that being said, it was time to head down into the caves. I evolved my Squirtle into a Wartortle, and well, basically it was time to move on. collected some iron, I got some cobblestone, and I was feeling really good about myself until, well, this happened.
I do not like the look of that at all. I'm running. Goodbye. You don't know who I am. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. He still sees me, this little shitter. Ow, I'm nowhere near you. What the hell? Wasn't even near that.
I nearly died to that spider, so I went down and collected some more resources, found our first diamonds of the series, collected some gold as well, and I was ecstatic. Then I found a lovely zombie spawner, which I thought was in a very weird spot, to be honest with you. It was in the side of a lower deep slate cave, and well, we didn't end up doing anything with that zombie spawner. I then collected myself some tuff, and well, I found some more diamonds, and I found a lot of diamonds actually in this tuff, to be exact. I found another, I think it was another 4 diamonds until day 11. Day 11, we came across our first legendary. Now, personally, I was not happy about this because I wasted way too many ultra balls on this legendary. I could have done so much more, but instead my idiot self decided that it was time to throw every single Pokeball, every single ultra ball at it and try to cap a Virzini. To try and capture this this deer looking Pokemon, let's just say that. I then ended up getting into a battle with my little grass leaf Pokemon thing. I don't even know what that one is called, as I can't even read it. Where he ended up wiping up my whole team. I then moved on to throwing just the last Ultra Ball that I had in my inventory at him, and he escaped. So I gave up. Day 12, I went to the Pokemon Center back at spawn, because getting a Ghast here is actually quite hard in Cobbleland. And well, it's my own fault. So after that, I decided to go back down into the caves in day 13 and collect some more iron because I'm going to need it. I then decided, let's also get ourselves some obsidian so we can go to the Nether. Day 14, it was time to light up the portal and head into the Nether. I had a horrible spawn into the Nether. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I went back through the portal. Day 15, I was like, this C-Dot, I need to add more Pokemon to my collection. And well, it was time to throw a ball at him as well. We ended up catching the C-Dot, and let's just say I wasn't too happy about the level of it, but it was able to evolve into a Nuzleaf, so I took it straight back to Nurse Joy and said, heal up my Pokemon. I then started exploring the spawn just that little bit, and I found a Drillbur, just a level 10 Drillbur sitting on the side. Sorry, a level 7 Drillbur sitting on the side. Let me fix that one up. I decided to use my Pidgeotto and try to get some levels. Now, not much XP coming from this, so I was like, Ruff, let's get you up some levels, and you're going to take on a level 5 one yourself, because, well, what better way to start than with a level 10 Rockruff taking on a level 5 Drillbur for some XP. And then day 16, I think I caught the most wildest thing I've ever seen. It was a Caterpie and a Weedle expedition to the ocean. On day 17, I decided to build myself a PC. Now, the reason for this is because I want to be able to capture as many Pokemon as I can and put them back into the computer themselves. I then selected my team of Nuzleaf, Wattle, and Pidgeotto and decided to get some materials in order to build a base. On night 17, I decided to look at this bear. I got shot by a skeleton and I was out of there. Day 18, I went back to spawn because I had some voting key crates that you get from doing /vote. And I was like, let me get some free stuff. Thank you very much. I got some diamonds, some little bit of EV boosters, and well, I got some money as well. I wasn't too happy about the money. I was like, give me some more diamonds, please. Then I got, and it did. It gave me 4 more diamonds. I had 12 diamonds walking away. I was pretty happy with that. I got some Pokemon Builder tokens. Too happy about that. Got 5 fastballs, which I didn't end up using at all. And then I got a random evolution stone, which was a sunstone, which, to be honest with you, I don't think I even used that. Day 19, I headed back out to the wild. It was rainy, and a Tallow took out my entire team until Pidgeotto stood up and hit quick attack. Day 20, I was like, let's build ourselves a base, and I started off building this base, and it looks alright from here, but
I'm just building my house. As you guys see, I've started building my house, and I picked up an elite key somehow. What the? Questionable. I don't know what's going on, but I've got an elite key now. Well, I'm going to use it.
To this day, why I have an elite key. So I went, opened up the crate, and went, oh, thank you for the large experience. And then Wattle got absolutely spammed with those large experience crystals, and I evolved him into a Blastoise.
So I got a Celestial Key. I think this is like a playtime thing. I don't even know what a Celestial Crate is. Mystique, Legendary, Ultimate Celestial. Here we go. Got no idea what that is. Yveltal, Dark Flying type, Dark Aura, Powers up each projectile type moves. Okay. What is it? Is it dark / flying type? Oh, wait. It's a flying type? This guy's a flying type. So does that mean? Interesting. Never actually seen this before. I don't think it's a thing. I think it's a fake mon.
I then went back for day 24 and I found some people trying to raid my village. I sent them to the Shadow Realm, just like in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I said, goodbye, thank you very much, sir, for coming by. I then went underground on day 25 and decided I'm just going to bully some Geodudes, because why not? So I used Blastoise for most of this, and I was like, time to bully some of these. I then decided to myself, what is happening up here? Found some zombies, and I wasn't too happy that they found my base. And you see the base was looking pretty good.
And that is our house finally built. I'm shocked that taking this long. I'm going to put some barrels here eventually, but for now, that is our house. And we can finally say that we can enter it. I need to fill in this hole here. I reckon I'm just going to do the same thing I've done up there. There's a hole there. Why is there a hole there? Oh, that's a window. That's also down by one. That needs to be moved. But I reckon we'll do the same there. I might just put like a flat roof up on top of this so you can't see any of this. But yeah, the house is pretty much done. And I reckon it looks pretty good.
And it was time for day 28. Day 28, I decided I wanted to create every single ball in Cobblemon for at least the basic ones. If I tried to make a master ball, we'd be here for 300, 400 days. So I went mining. I found another zombie spawner. And this one, I decided that I was going to turn into a AFK / spawner / XP farm. I then decided to do a little more battling with Blastoise because, well, why not? And we were just bullying stone types within the caves. I needed some food because I was running low, so I decided to get myself some bread from some wheat because I needed it. I then found myself a very interesting Pokemon with a very low spawn rate of Zorak. And then I used Yuville, and I may have killed it in one shot. Well, that happens. Day 30 to day 40, I was AFK, letting the farms grow. Day 41, I went out there and saw an Absol, and I went, I kind of want you, but I hope I do not one-shot you. I then found out that dragon moves aren't really that good, but at the same time, I had a dark move, and I decided to use that on Absol because, well, it's a negative gearing move towards it. I then threw a great ball at it because I wasn't comfortable throwing a Pokeball at it, and then bada bing, bada boom, it got out. So I threw another great ball, and we got it on the second go. I then went to spawn and decided, let's take on one of these daily trainers. So I went on to take on the first one, and he absolutely wiped my squad. I mean, I had to run. Munchlax was the last one standing, so I was like, oop, not today. So I went on back in day 43 to make the XP farm because, well, I kind of needed better tools, and some enchantments would have been nice to have. I then saw a Diglett, and I was like, I kind of need a Diglett in my team, but for me, I was like, let's just take it on, and then I one-shot it like an idiot. That's right, it wasn't the smartest move by me, but it did drop an interesting item, so I took that back to the base. I put it in the chest. I then gathered up every apricorn I needed to create the next, to create the basic levels of Pokeballs. I then saw a Pidgey out in the wild, and I was like, oh my god, I need a Pidgey. I've got a Pidgeotto. Let me get a Pidgey. I haven't got one. And this Pidgey didn't want anything to do with me, even though it was sleeping. I then went back in, got myself some copper, and created every single basic form of balls, from an Azuru ball all the way to a Verdant ball as well. And you see, every color can be made into a basic 1x ball, which is very handy in the long run. But I just did it because I wanted the advancement. And then I found out that apricorns in a V shape make a bowl. I was actually quite questioning this. I was like, what? So every single ball was made a premier ball and all. I then decided it was time to do some enchanting, and I went and enchanted my first ever pickaxe. I got efficiency 3, unbreaking 3, and fortune 2. Was not happy with it at all. I then decided it was time to take on a Blastoise. I then decided it was time to take on a Farfetch, and we lost. I then did a little bit of decoration around the path that leads to my Nether portal because I wanted to make it feel more like a home. I then destroyed a Buffalant because, well, I just wanted to and he was in my way. Simple as that. I found a Rattata and I was like, you sir are getting one-shotted and I'm not even apologizing even though I wanted to catch you. I then moved on, looked at this zebra looking thing, missed 3 Pokeballs by the way, almost drowned a Pokeball and I ended up getting a Zeb Striker. It was very interesting. At this point in the video, I am trying to capture as many Pokemon as I can, like this giraffe rig, but unfortunately I may or may not have thrown that many Pokeballs at him until a Great Ball landed on him and got him. I wasn't too happy with that, but I moved on anyways. I then found myself a Stone Journo who one-shotted my Blastoise, and I was like, it is time to bring out the big guns. This was payback for my Squirtle. Little did I know that move wasn't going to be very effective, but it one-shotted him back into the Shadow Realm. We had our revenge. I then found myself another Diglett in the caves, and I caught it. Because, well, you can't now have enough Digletts. I then found myself a shiny Baneri because, well, who knows when I'm going to find another shiny on this server, and I wanted it badly. So bad that I looked at it and went, maybe Nuzleaf can do some damage to you at level 22, which he did with a lovely headbutt. It didn't kill him, and it didn't put me at any risk of losing my shiny. I was a little bit nervous though when I went to hit him again, and then hit him again with another headbutt. It landed. I watched the HP go down, and I was a little bit scared. My butthole was twitching. I then threw a Great Ball at him, and it landed squarely on the forehead, and I caught myself my first shiny at day 51. I couldn't believe it, but it was mine at last. I had a look at its stats, and I was like, oh, I can evolve you already. So we got a Digsby or a Diggersby, and let's just say this Pokemon itself is very chunky, and I am in love with my chunky Pokemon. Shout out to all my big fellas out there. We need you. I then decided it was time to enchant another pickaxe. I then decided it was time to enchant a sword, I moved on to the Nether in day 53 and 54, trying to locate a Ghast and also collect some Wither Skulls. Because in order for me to be able to use fusions in this game, I need a Wither Star. And let me tell you, it is hard to try and get some of that. As we found ourselves some Wither Skeletons, I was like, oh, I am going to struggle big time because I forgot about the effects of the Wither Skeleton. And I nearly died several times in Nether Tomb. Luckily enough, I didn't die to them. I died mostly to fire. And then I saw this flamingo looking thing and I was like, what are you? It's a Bombi Rider. And I actually thought this was a fake mon. I didn't think this was real, but unfortunately it actually is real. I was a little bit confused at first. I had to Google it. It is a real mon. I thought I had my first fake mon. So I decided to throw a Great Ball at it. Landed squarely on its chest. And we had ourselves our first weird looking flamingo type Pokemon. I then saw a Lechonk in the distance and I was like, you know what? Kobe, I hit it. And then I just was, the Lechonk didn't want to get in the ball. And that's understandable. He just didn't want to be part of my family. That's fine. So I let him be. Moving on to day 56 and 57, I went AFK down at the zombie spawner to try and get ourselves some more levels. As you can see, the XP bar was glitched. I then moved on to the Nether, where for some weird reason I was throwing a ball at a goth girl and it didn't go in the ball. It didn't want anything to do with me, so I sent out your Vettel and it may or may not have killed it. So I moved on. I kept on exploring around these areas because I wanted to be able to find as much as I could. I wanted to be able to find different locations in the Nether and I wanted to find different resources while also trying to get Wither Skeleton Skulls. I don't think I was successful at getting even one skull in this whole playthrough, but these slimes were a good way to cope with that. They got beat up just the way that I wanted to do them to. Knowing that I was struggling, I ended up buying the Celestial rank on the server. 1, I needed the money. 2, I caught a Dialga in one of the and a Solego. Oh my god, we were cooking. Then someone asked me if I wanted to sell my kits. I told them no thank you sir, not today. I then collected all the other kits and I got myself a shiny Oshawott, which by the way is adorable. I couldn't believe that I was lucky enough to get that mon, but then I went over to the Ultimate Crate and I was like, give me some money. And well, it gave me a Chin Pao. Never heard of Chin Pao, but here we go again. Another Celestial Key, our third one in the 100 days. What are we going to get? We got ourselves a Mars Shadow and it's been added to our PC as well. So we evolved our Oshawott into a Duot. And then I looked at Duba and I was like, actually pretty cool coloring. And then a Samurott was next. An absolute killer Pokemon. I actually really love the model for this. While we're there though, I had some candies and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to level up my Blastoise all the way to level 100. I didn't get the achievement for it, which is kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie. I then went AFK again for a little bit. I found myself a Growlithe in a random village that I was just looking for, but okay. I then evolved Rockruff. Got myself a shiny Onyx from just one of the kits, I believe it was. Now, I'm not mad about this. I just don't know how to get into a Steelix. I then caught myself a Wurmple because why not? We got to add to our collection. I then tried to catch a Combee as well. And, well, he is now part of my endless trap of Pokemon that I was catching at this point in the video. I then threw my ball out of the chonk, like you have to get in the ball eventually. And he was in the ball, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't believe it myself. I then evolved Lechonk into Oinklage because, well, we love a chunky boy. I then had an Isserine and I was like, I'm going to test you out, and it one-shotted. I then had a little bit of a battle against a Caterpie and they didn't really put up a fight, but I caught myself my first ever Caterpie as well. I was really proud of this. And Growlithe went underground to face an Aaron and, well, I believe we caught that Aaron now, and it was lovely. We then also caught a Joltik as well. I was a little bit surprised about that. And then up top, we went after a Teddy Ursa because I actually haven't caught a Teddy Ursa at all in this series. Usually it's one of the first Pokemons I catch because it's so common. And then we had ourselves a Dealing. I could have absolutely murked the Dealing, but I chose not to with Growlithe. I wish I did. And then I found this weird elephant, Cubfin. And I couldn't believe that it was just roaming around in it. I had no idea about this Pokemon at all, but it was cool looking. And that was day 69. Haha, funny number. Continue on in day 69, I went back to spawn and I wanted revenge for him taking out every single one of my party. So Blastoise at level 100 ripped through majority of every single one. Unfortunately, he fell. Unfortunately, Blastoise was just too strong. Day 70, it was time to go back into the Nether. We are going on our ancient debris hunt. Every time we go into the Nether, I'm going in there and we are getting ancient debris. We just need it in order to do fusions. Mind you, it did take me quite a bit of time to actually get my first ever bit of ancient debris. I then opened up the item market and I was like, oh, do I buy a Gibble? Do I not buy a Gibble? I brought a Gibble. Just for Garchomp, I brought a Gibble because I know how unlucky I am with spawn rates. I then died in the Nether for the first time and I was like, oh my god, I'm dead. What a shock horror. It's not the first time I've died in this world. I've died several times. I think I ended up dying around about 10 times. And then while I was getting my ancient debris, I found the last one that I needed in order to have all of my debris collected. So while I was smelting it down, I tried to catch a Butterfree and, well, that didn't go as planned. I then got myself a DNA splicer out spawn using the ancient debris, iron ingots, gold ingots, and the Nether Star, which I had purchased from the store with my celestial rank. I then looked at what I needed to get to do at least one of these. At least one of these was very important. But I've noticed that a lot of the fusion Pokemon were very, very hard to find. That's okay though, because we went on our little adventure. We found a Vivian, which I believe, unfortunately, Torkoal took out. Then I found a Lunaris, sorry. And I couldn't catch it. The game would not allow me to catch it. I was so sad about it. So I took it out and went, you know what, we're going to go back. And then I found a Vulpix just lying around in my wheat field. I couldn't believe it. Here, he was just sitting in my wheat field. So Growlithe fought the fight. We then ended up catching the Vulpix for the first time, but unfortunately it was not the correct Vulpix. So in order to do what we needed to do to get the right fusion Pokemon, I decided it was time to build a platform on day 79. So I built a platform above a river. This was the most pointless thing to do because spawn rates are horrible. At least for me, they are. So I waited until day 80 and I started exploring. I then found a couple of interesting Pokemon like a Lotad and a Toxel, which I added to my team in the PC. That's right, not exactly my team that I'm carrying around at the moment, but the team in my PC. Good work, Vulpix. I then took on a Croagunk and accidentally murked it, sent it to the Shadow Realm. I then took on a Butterfree, which is a very important Pokemon. I was getting a little bit nervous in this fight, and then I threw Ultra Ball after Ultra Ball at it, and I said, why don't we just try a regular Pokeball, and it worked. A Pokeball over an Ultra Ball. Who would have thought? I then went on to find myself a desert because I was looking for a snowy biome to try and find an Alolan Vulpix because that is what's needed now for my fusion. I ended up catching the Shanks in the desert and I found a very interesting base. It was pretty cool looking and I'll give them that. Day 82 was looking like a very dry area. As you can see, we found the base here. Lovely build. I thought this was actually someone else's build, but I could be wrong. This could be a Terra Lift better village, and I'm just wrong because it looks amazing. The farms look good. Everything looks good. I then ended up RTPing once again and found myself in a snowy biome where I took on a Stantler and I just couldn't catch it. I then started using Growlithe to try and clear a lot of the ice type Pokemon by melting them by using fire type moves because fire melts ice, while having Gibble in my inventory and getting him evolved. Mind you, Gibble takes a lot of XP and it's a long grind to go from level 21 to 24 for the first evolution. I then tried to save a Pokemon on day 85 because, well, he was drowning and I was too late. And then day 86, a lovely member of the community gave me an egg for a Vulpix, Aloha regional Aloha Vulpix, which I then set on a conquest to take on. I ran across here and there, and then I found myself a Sliver King, and I just couldn't catch this ancient Pokemon at all. It didn't allow me. It didn't want me. It didn't allow me. The game hated me, so I took it out with Lycanroc, and then I moved on. And then I saw a skirmish, a Skarmory, and my Tyranitar took it out. I then moved on, throwing day and night, moving as far as I can, all the way until my Vulpix had hatched from the egg. I then used Slash Home, went home, got my Vulpix, got the DNA splicer, and it was time to fuse the Pokemon. For the first time in this video, I was actually able to do something that I really wanted to do. I put two Pokemon together and I got a Butterpix. How good does it look? It has more than 2 attacks. Don't you worry about that. All right. I just need to put some more on it on day 93. It was actually pretty strong for its type. Gust moves, it has flying moves, it has ice moves, and it has bug moves. An absolute beast of a mon. I recommend anyone who's playing the server on Union to go and get as much of these as you can. So day 94 rolled around and I went back to the Nether. I thought, you know what, let's go right to the top and let's find a Firestone to get an Arcanine. I then brought one because I realized I had the funds to use the Slash shop. I should have checked that before. So I hit him with a Firestone, Growlithe turned into Arcanine, and I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. Arcanine was here. We were ready. So then I got a trainer key and gave as many small little bits of XP to Gibble to make it a Gabite. And then we went on our adventure to evolve Gabite, going into day and night yet again. Lucky for me, he had the XP share on him, so I was able to use Blastoise against a lot of the higher level Pokemon, which gave me an opportunity just to speed run his leveling. Mind you, I then went back to the city center. I was like, let's take on the trainer that is in the Pokemon Center. An unusual spot to be fighting, but then I spent on my fight. I used so many of my different Pokemon. Here is Growlithe taking on Rillaboom. And then unfortunately Dialga falling to this massive bear type Pokemon. I can't remember its name to save my life. But Lycanroc came in and took him out. And then Eternus took out Lycanroc. Blastoise came in and took him out. And then we had Dragapult, who is a brilliant mon that nearly took out Blastoise. We were lucky that we held on. We're not winning. We got 2 rare candies and so many other. I then decided, let's take on the rest of Spawn. We took out someone who had a Goodra, by the way, and then an Arcanine, and we were speed running this trainer. Left and rights going everywhere until we hit Togekiss. Togekiss, unfortunately, almost took out my Blastoise. The owner, one of the co-owners of the server rocked up, and, well, then Gene happened. Our win streak came to an end abruptly. Today is day 100. And there is so much for me to do that I won't be able to pack it into just one day. So I've decided that I'm going to be doing another 50 days a little bit later on. So there will be more Cobblemon related videos from me on the server. First off, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have liked the video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe as well. And for everyone on the Cobbeland server, especially the people in the Union server, I appreciate every single one of you guys. My name has been Bones, and this has been 100 days in Cobblemon.